Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Utah Beer News for what we hope will be the first of many one-on-one conversations with local brewers, breweries, everyday imbibers. I'm Tim Herron, founder of Utah Beer News, and my guest today is Rob Phillips, the co-founder of Roja Brewing Project. Welcome, Rob.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for being our guinea pig on
Yeah,
this trial run to see how this concept works. We'll give it a shot, but I'm looking forward to it. So.
it seems
We're
like
recording this
these.
via Zoom, obviously, and to include with a tastings article down the road. Hopefully, I'll be able to add it to our podcast channel as well. And as many of you know, it's been several weeks now since any of us in Utah have really been able to visit a brewery or enjoy a beer on site. However, we've still been able to enjoy local craft beer thanks to the hard work and ingenuity, really, of Utah's craft brewers. And that includes the brewery we're talking to today, Roja Brewing Project, to shut its doors to shut its tap room to visitors in mid-March, has really almost immediately started establishing smooth and safe procedures for people to get their beer. So obviously, Rob's going to talk a little bit about that. Also wanted to talk a little bit about the 3-year anniversary that Roja
Yeah.
just celebrated. So there's a lot of good stuff. And then the feature attraction of this video is going to be tasting Roja's newest creation, High on the Hop Session IPA,
Yeah.
which is being released on May 2nd. So before we get into the virtual tasting, Rob, maybe you can just give us an idea of what's been going on in Roja's world over the last several weeks.
All right. Well, thank you for the nice introduction, and thank you for the kind words about how smooth and clean the transaction was at our place. It certainly doesn't feel that way all the time on the backside, or at least the smoothness. The cleanliness, I think, is there, but it's a weird time right now, and I think a lot of businesses are suddenly in a position where they need to figure out how to adapt and do it real quick. And so what we've done is we went to our friends at the DABC and asked for an extension of our package 5 space so that it includes the parking lot. So now we can provide curbside service. You can either call ahead or honk when you get there. And we try and have a completely sanitary transaction. So if you're in your vehicle, we'll stay 6 feet away. We have a nice menu we can show you. If you don't know what's available, we'll take your order. We will ring it up on our iPad. We touch the iPad and then we cover it with plastic wrap. So then we let you sign the iPad, swipe your card and sign the iPad. So we're done taking cash for the time being, just too many touch points. And then we'll load the beer after we check your ID and make a sanitary transaction. We're wearing gloves and masks, of course, just trying to keep everything clean and safe for everybody. But it's been interesting to adapt to that business model and have the rest of that space where we used to serve pints just sit empty right now. So.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it. Yeah, like you mentioned, it was a very smooth transaction today.
Good.
I picked up the beer and had it delivered to the trunk of my car. It was very
Perfect.
easy, no problems. But I can imagine like just all of these new things that you've kind of had to learn on the fly. And
Yeah.
how has that been? Obviously, you're still running a business on top of it all. Has it just
Yeah.
been incredibly challenging? Have been long hours to try and figure out what we're doing right
What
now?
we're doing here. Yeah. I'm certainly getting plenty of hours. So on top of that, I'm doing a bit of homeschooling with the kids here that share an office with me and all the fun things that come with it. But yeah, I mean, we've got a supportive community, and so there's lots of good resources out there. But it's just been a matter of working closely between me and Haas, and including our third partner Josh a little bit, and our taproom manager, who's been great, Ashley, to work with, just to try and pin down exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, write it down, train on it, make sure everybody knows what's going on. And then at first, and I guess still today, things are changing pretty quickly too. And so it's been a lot of like, okay, that's what we were doing yesterday, but today, now you're going to use more bleach, or we've got new gloves you're going to wear. And so our staff has been fantastic in understanding of that, to adapt and to work really, really hard to make sure that we keep things sanitary. Because we know if
Sure.
we're not safe, we risk getting our patrons sick or getting our employees sick, and we don't want either of those things. So it's worth the hard work, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are still cranking out a bunch of beer.
Yeah.
It's still available in the liquor stores, grocery stores, and then at your tap room. You've also gotten a little creative with some of the stuff you've done over the last couple of weeks. So I was hoping you could touch on a couple of these too.
Sure.
The two that stuck out for me were the live Firkin demonstrations, and then also this gold cap thing that kind of a scavenger hunt for your cans. Maybe talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do every Wednesday, we do what was called a Firkin Hump Day. So our brewer Matt would come up with a new beer, or really some concoction of a beer, whatever beer was available in a tank to ferment. We'd put it in a firkin and we'd serve it as a one-off on Wednesdays. And those, we've been doing them for a year and a half now or so. And at first they didn't catch on. People were like, firkin, what are you talking about? But it became one of our, fan favorite, one of our best nights. People would show up just to see what's in the firkin. So when we had to shut down suddenly, of course we had 2 firkins in the cooler ready to go, because we didn't know we were shutting down. So those first couple of weeks, we didn't know what to do with that beer. We filled growlers, we sold some growlers, but we couldn't sell it in pints, and we didn't really have the same feel. People would show up and take a growler, but they couldn't hang out and talk about it. So after that, we adapted, and what we're doing on Instagram, and actually I think they're on live right now doing this, is we'll make, we're coining it sort of Firkin at home. So we're encouraging people to take a beer and to experiment a little bit with it, not to run out and get anything special, but to take, maybe you've got a can of Back Porch in your fridge ready to go, and you've got some cinnamon. Everybody has some cinnamon in there, so let's make a cinnamon Back Porch, or let's make a Maltese Back Porch with some cinnamon in it, and experiment a little bit and share that with us. Cool. To try and get that going, we're doing a live presentation. It's about 15 minutes, where Matt will talk about what he's got in his cupboard, and he makes a beer with it, and then he tries it and talks about it. And so we're doing a live Firkin thing, Firkin at home. And
nice.
So if anybody watches this and they're interested in playing along, we would encourage them to snap a photo of what they're making and send it to us, and we'll try it. Just to add to that, several of our seasonal beers or our just fan favorite beers have come out of this Firkin program, where we've made a Firkin. Grapefruit Back Porch was originally a Firkin beer, and now we produce it in cans, and it's a seasonal beer. Americana was the same thing. So if you come up with something and we taste it and love it, maybe in a year you'll see it in a can in the grocery store. So
how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Consumers had a part in the next rollout beer. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So play along. Yeah, Firkin at home.
Nice. And then just real quick, and I'm going to go off script a little bit, because I want to crack open this can and we'll talk a little bit more. But just talk about the gold cap real quick.
So this this is maybe just what happens to business owners. You wake up in the morning at 2 a.m. in the middle of a dream, and you have this idea. That's what happened to me. When we seam our cans, typically we buy silver lids, but they also produce gold lids. And so I thought it would be kind of fun, because of the way we package, we could insert a few gold lids, and suddenly one out of, I don't know what the ratio is, 1 of 300 or so cans comes out with a gold lid. And so right around St. Patrick's Day, I thought, well, what a fun way to kick this off. That was also consequently when everything came crashing down. But we were planning on doing sort of a big launch for this gold lid program. But so every every beer we do now has about 1 in 300 cans with a gold lid. You can't see them under the pack text. You can't see them in the 12 pack. But if you find a gold lid, bring it in the tap room and you can redeem it for a gift card, which you have to use on merchandise only. Otherwise it breaks the law. But, we'll give you a $25 gift card for one of those gold lids. So keep hunting.
That is sweet. As someone who collected baseball cards back in the day, I always loved kind of those special inserts that you could hunt for. And so, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I haven't come across any yet, but I'll keep looking.
Yeah, keep hunting. They're out there. The tap room people find them occasionally when they're breaking apart a 6-pack, and I say, hey, put that back in a 6-pack. Keep that hidden.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Well, let's. I think you've got one of these, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you?
I got 3 of them.
Something similar.
Yeah.
This is the high on the hop. You're calling it a lazy IPA. Maybe explain that just a little bit.
Well, we for the longest time until the law changed and these session IPAs became more popular, we were opposed to putting an IPA out at a 4% level. But with the law change to 5%, in session IPAs are gaining popularity all over the place. We thought it'd be an okay time to put out a session IPA, but we didn't want to just latch onto that train of a session IPA, and we wanted it to be more fun than that. So there's mine. Ooh. So we're calling it a lazy IPA just to kind of, I guess, hopefully describe the vibe we were going for in this beer, which is a lazy summer afternoon, refreshing, easy to drink beer. There's been some spins on it too, like, well, this beer is 5% beer. It was so lazy it couldn't become a real IPA, things like that. But or some people are saying, well, lazy brewers make a hazy IPA, but ours didn't come out hazy. We didn't intend for it to be hazy, but some have assumed that. So.
Yeah, but it is that kind of style. It's got a lot of hop character and the aroma, right? And low bitterness.
Yeah, that was the goal.
A hazy style without the haze.
Yeah, a clear, juicy, hazy session IPA was sort of the area, the territory we were going for. So something that has just a big hop aroma, but doesn't have that IPA bitterness, maybe. But we always try and make a nice balanced beer as well. So there is a little bit of just balancing bitterness in there. But the hop aroma on this thing, I mean, I should soak my face mask in that.
Right. That would help you during the day for sure. I already cheated too, but yeah, cheers, Rob. Thank you
cheers
for joining us on this. But yeah, a lot of citrus, tropical fruits.
Yeah, we pulled in some newer sort of tropical hops out of New Zealand. So we pounded it with some Waimea and Waiiti hops. The can, I think, calls out that Waiiti on there. So that gives it some of those big tropical notes, and really nice blended aroma. Most of our other beers typically use aroma and dry hop, just a single hop to pull out that aroma. But this beer, we blended a couple of hops together and those dry hops to really make it a little more pungent. So.
Oh, it's really good. And yeah, I can imagine this being a big hit this summer, because 5%, easy drinking, but still has a lot of flavor.
I hope so. I think there's always a challenge out there to make that balanced 5% beer that still comes through with a lot of flavor. And I think Haas has always done a great job of that, because he spent such a long time making flavorful, great beers that were served on draft. And so this one's no different. I think there's big flavor, and if you didn't tell people it was a 5% beer, they wouldn't know it. So.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Cool. And you've had a couple. Well, this one I guess will be available May 2nd then at the tap room. You said, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it's in cans now, but we are saving it for Saturday to launch it. We open at noon. We're trying to manage the crowds in a way that we don't have any issues, and we want to be respectful to social distancing rules and things like that. So what we're doing, I should have had a tennis ball here, but I don't. We are offering, we're suggesting you bring your dog
Yeah,
in case
cool.
there's a line. You have a companion to wait in line with, and we will have some free tennis balls there. So if there is a crowd or a line or whatever, grab your dog, grab a tennis ball, go for a quick walk around the loop, around the block or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then
Uh-huh.
come back. Hopefully the line dies down and we can serve you quickly and in a sanitary way. But so
Oh,
that's
sweet.
kind of the idea, and everybody loves dogs and everybody loves taking them for a walk. So
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a great idea. Because yeah, I know they're yeah this day and age, this time, people don't want to gather, congregate big groups, which obviously we shouldn't. So
no,
it's
and we
nice
don't
that
want
you've got
people
it.
to. So the other thing I'll mention on the launch is we will not run out of beer.
Okay.
So don't feel like you need to rush at noon. Don't feel like you need to stand in a line. If you've got errands to run, and you can put us in at the beginning, and if there's a line for some reason, come back at the end of your errands. We won't run out of beer. This isn't a limited release. This is a all the time beer, and we held back
Cool.
plenty from the distributor to make sure that we could have it available for you.
Nice.
So
I like it quite a bit. It is balanced. There is a lot of hop character to it, but it's not um, all hops. I don't think.
no,
There's still a little
I
maltiness to it.
I just love that aroma to it. Um, it's got some Idaho 7 hops in it too, which a lot of local brewers are using, and it's become a pretty popular hop. But I really like that. It's got a pretty strong um, um, sort of earthy tone to it, and we blended that with those
Hmm.
big tropical Waimea White Edie hops, and I think it's a really nice blend. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Well, I'll enjoy drinking the rest of this. If can ask you a couple more questions before I let you
yeah,
go. Is that all right?
absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Cool. Well, you've also had a couple other releases recently, and in fact, I picked up some of the Transom
Cool.
Dark Pale Ale
Yeah.
because I haven't had that one yet. It came out a little while ago, and
Yep.
have you had a good response to that?
Yeah, that beer was funny. We were cranking lots of volume through prior to the shutdown, and we kept looking for a spot to fit in this transom, and we wanted kind of a winter spring beer because it is a dark beer, but it drinks pretty light. So we called it transom after the transom on a boat or on a raft. So we were saying, hey, when you're getting your gear ready for the river and you're putting the transom on your boat, this is the beer that pairs with that. So it was fun. We had Haas brought his raft down to the parking lot, and we parked it out there, and sold beer out of it for the day. Same kind of thing though.
Yeah,
We're avoiding crowds a little bit, but
yeah.
we've had a good response. We put it out in the market, and so it's available at a few places. I would say Harmon's, Fresh Market, probably your best bets on those,
Okay.
or of course available at our place. Um,
Yeah.
I think we're down to about 8 cases or something like that left. So um,
All right.
if you want a
Well,
nice balanced dark pale ale, get down
yeah,
to our
that'll be my
place and
next
grab it.
one after this. I'm excited to try that one. I also got your IPA sampler pack, which I think is a good idea.
Oh yeah,
It's got 3 different IPAs in there, which
that's right.
is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I get asked pretty regularly. They said, "Is this even legal to sell?" I said, well, sure. I mean, I mean, you could make one yourself at the liquor store, but we just put
Yeah.
the beers together, and you know, every liquor store charges individual beers anyway. So
Oh, now there you go. Just trying to make it easy for the consumer, Rob.
that's right.
That's not the way.
Well, we would hear it all the time, like, "Oh, what good IPAs do you have?" And we'd say, "Here,
Yeah.
grab a sampler." They're all of them that we have. So
Cool.
speaking of that IPA sampler, we've got some. Um, I won't divulge all the details, but we've got a pretty fun sampler pack that we're getting ready for Craft Beer Week. So which is
Oh,
second week in May 11th. So
yeah, that's coming up.
yeah.
Awesome. I'll look forward to that. What's your overall impression been these last 6, 7 weeks from the craft beer community? What have you what have you taken away from what you've seen?
It's it's a crazy time. Everybody knows that. Um, I guess my first response is we're just so grateful for the local beer drinking community. We kind of went into this thinking, how are we going to get that many people to come to our space and buy beer? We get limited foot traffic anyway, and we don't really want them to come, but we want them to come. So,
Right.
but we're so grateful that there's such a strong sense of community to buy local and support local and come to the place of business and trust that we'll serve you in a sanitary, safe way so that you can buy fresh, cold beer still. So the beer community, sort of behind the scenes, from the brewery perspective, has been phenomenal also, as they always have been.
Mhm.
Part of one of the big reasons I was interested in getting in this business is the sense of community among breweries. But we've seen it really strong right now. The emails that bounce around, breweries helping other breweries, and some breweries are running out of crowlers, and who has some that we can borrow in the short term. And here's when ours come in, and we need 16-ounce cans. And there's just been a good vibe between all the breweries that understand, hey, we're in this together, and we don't want to see anybody in our brewery community die from this. So let's help each other out and support each other as much as we can. So a lot of good ideas floating around, a lot of support out there. So
Good.
yeah.
You mentioned a little bit about something coming up, a new release in the next couple of weeks. What else is on deck for Roja? What do you see the next few weeks looking like for you guys? Is it going to be status quo, or are you going to what's going to happen, or don't you know?
So we'll talk about a beer release first. So we've got Craft Beer Week coming up. We're just putting together sort of a couple cool mix packs for that, and I'll leave it right there. We have another new beer that we've been working on for quite some time. We've got all the branding and things like that done. We're just we planned on launching it at our 3-year anniversary, which was, a week ago. And instead we had this social distancing party where it was just 4 of us there, and
Looked like you guys were having a great time though.
Well, we set the whole place up, wiped the sweat, took a video, put everything away. So it was, it's a funny thing to do, but it was. So we plan on launching this new beer. It's a High Point beer. It's an Imperial Red Ale that we're calling Steady Edge. It comes in at 7.6%. I'll give you a sneak peek. 7.6%. So
wow.
But we're working on that, and I think that'll release this summer sometime. So
okay.
The next few weeks for us, there's been some announcements from the governor yesterday about trying to open things back up. For us, it's a bigger focus on safety, and just seeing the number of new cases every day, and we're trying to watch for that to decline. And we haven't seen a decline, and so we will remain a to-go business until we feel safe for our patrons and for our staff to come in and drink pints again. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've heard too, that businesses will have all of these regulations, but as far as consumers go, they're not quite as strict, and so then you're putting your staffs and employees at risk if you're dealing with customers too early, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next little while, but so I guess you're going to take a kind of a slower wait and see a little bit of approach.
Yeah, safety for our employees is so important. I mean, we don't have a deep breadth of employees. We're a small brewery, and so we want to keep those people as safe as possible. Until we can safely serve patrons, we're just remain a to-go business for now, and hope that you'll support us the same way you have, through the grocery stores, liquor stores, and direct purchase from our shop. So
Right. Cool. Well, congratulations again on 3 years. That's quite the accomplishment.
yeah, a lot has
Anything else?
changed.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I was visiting with you and Haas. Was it the end of January or the end of February?
I feel like it was end of February.
Yeah, it might have been the end of February for an article and podcast episode, and you were talking about the anniversary coming up and just how much has happened in the 3 years, and then everything kind of went sideways for the world.
Yeah.
But we'll get back on it. So anything else before we wrap up that you wanted to mention, or?
No, I mean, we're excited for this High on the Hop, and I appreciate your time to put this together and have me on. Again, we launch Saturday at noon. Our to-go hours are Monday through Saturday, 12 to 7. Call ahead, honk when you get there, wave when you get there. Our beer tenders are pretty responsive when you get there, so they'll get you taken care of in a safe manner. And if you show up on Saturday and it's busy, grab a tennis ball, take your pup for a walk, come back when it's not as busy. We'll get you taken care of as fast as we can. So
yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, thank you, Rob, for joining me on the inaugural Utah Beer News virtual tasting. I think it went okay.
Yeah, I mean, the beer tastes good, whether we're in person or sitting here. So
the beer tastes great. Yeah. So I'm gonna open up another one. Yeah. And just if there are any other breweries, or anybody else who is interested in participating in one of these conversations, feel free to get in touch with me and ask Rob how easy it was.
It's a really easy way to promote your brand, and all you have to do is sit in a chair and drink a beer, and we can all do that.
How hard is that? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate the time.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Tim. See you soon.